Imagine flying alone at night when suddenly an unidentified object starts following you. This isn't a scene from a science fiction movie, but a chilling real-life event that occurred in the skies over Australia. The protagonist of this eerie tale is a 20-year-old pilot by the name of Frederick Valentich. Frederick was not a seasoned aviator. He was relatively inexperienced in the world of flight. Yet he was keen, enthusiastic, and held a fascination for the open skies. On the fateful evening of October 21st, 1978, he embarked on a simple nighttime training flight from Moorabbin Airport in Melbourne. His destination was King Island, a small landmass located in the Bass Strait. This flight, seemingly ordinary, soon took a turn towards the extraordinary. As Frederick steered his single-engine Cessna 182L over the dark waters of the Bass Strait, he made a startling report to Melbourne Air Traffic Control. An unidentified aircraft, he claimed, was following him. The craft, according to Frederick, was equipped with 4 bright lights and moved at a speed that he couldn't match. The stranger still, the aircraft seemed to be toying with him. It orbited above his plane, revealing a shiny metallic surface and a single green light. Frederick's initial calmness started to crack, replaced by a growing sense of anxiety, but nothing could prepare the air traffic controllers for his final ominous message. In an unsettling tone, Frederick reported, "It is hovering and it's not an aircraft." Then, a long metallic scraping noise was heard, followed by an abrupt end to the transmission. Frederick Valentich, along with his plane, seemed to have vanished into thin air. No distress signal, no debris, nothing to indicate what had transpired in those final moments. His last communication was a mysterious, unsettling statement. "It is hovering, and it's not an aircraft." To this day, the fate of Frederick Valentich remains one of Australia's most intriguing aviation mysteries. As Valentich flew over the Bass Strait, he made a chilling radio contact with Melbourne Air Traffic Control. On that fateful night, the 20-year-old pilot was not alone in the vast expanse of the sky. He reported an unidentified aircraft tailing him with an unnerving persistence. Imagine his predicament. There he was in a single-engine Cessna, a speck in the infinity of the Bass Strait, with an unknown entity hovering around him. Valentich's initial tone was calm, composed, as he detailed the peculiar characteristics of the unidentified aircraft. It was unlike anything he had seen before. Equipped with 4 bright lights, moving at high speed, orbiting above him like a predator circling its prey. The aircraft, he said, had a shiny metallic surface with a distinct green light. As the minutes ticked by, the calm in Valentich's voice began to give way to a growing sense of unease, then anxiety. He was dealing with something unknown, something inexplicable. His descriptions became more frantic, his words filled with a dread that echoed through the radio waves. He was a man in a situation he couldn't understand, let alone control. His last words remain etched in the annals of aviation mysteries, an unsettling statement that sends chills down the spines of those who hear it. "It is hovering, and it's not an aircraft." His voice was filled with a mix of terror and disbelief, a chilling testament to the reality he was facing. Then came a sound, a long metallic scraping noise, like metal against metal that seared through the airwaves. It was a sound that didn't belong in that cockpit, a sound that hinted at a grim reality. Then the transmission cut off abruptly, leaving behind a void filled with questions and theories. Then, nothing but eerie silence. The voice of Frederick Valentich, that once filled the airwaves with dread and confusion, was no more. It was replaced by a silence that was just as unsettling, if not more so. A silence that continues to echo through the decades. A silence that hides the truth of what really happened that night in the Bass Strait. In the wake of Valentich's disturbing last transmission, a massive search operation began. Imagine, if you will, a web of boats, helicopters and airplanes spanning over 1,000 square miles of the Bass Strait. This was the scale of the operation, a desperate attempt to find any trace of the young pilot or his aircraft. The search was not a fleeting one, oh no. It stretched over days, each passing hour filled with mounting concern and dwindling hope. This was a race against time, a race against the treacherous sea, and ultimately a race against the inexplicable. The men and women involved in the search combed through the vast area, their eyes squinting against the harsh sunlight reflecting off the water, their hearts heavy with the ominous possibility of what they might find. Yet, as the days turned into nights and back into days, their search yielded nothing. No debris, no wreckage, no sign of the Cessna 182L or its young pilot. Imagine their frustration, their desperation, the haunting emptiness of the sea mirroring the void left by Valentich's sudden and unexplained disappearance. The lack of physical evidence was perplexing. It defied logic, it defied reason, and it added an air of eerie mystery to the already unsettling case. This absence of tangible proof was like a blank canvas, and in the minds of many it became a fertile ground for theories to take root and flourish. Each theory more intriguing and paradoxical than the last. Was it an encounter with the extraterrestrial, a tragic accident, or perhaps was it an elaborate hoax gone horribly wrong? The missing evidence, or rather the startling lack thereof, became a key player in this unfolding mystery. It fed the speculations, it stoked the conspiracy theories, and it kept the case of Valentich's disappearance alive in the annals of aviation history and UFO folklore. Despite their best efforts, the search teams came up empty-handed. But in this fruitless search, they unwittingly set the stage for a mystery that would continue to captivate and confound us for decades to come. The most prevalent theory suggests that Valentich had a close encounter of the third kind. This hypothesis, fueled by Valentich's own distressing descriptions during his final transmission, has been the most intriguing among ufologists and enthusiasts of the unexplained. Let's revisit Valentich's words. He reported an unidentified aircraft following him, equipped with 4 bright lights, moving at high speed. He described the peculiar entity as having a shiny metal surface and a green light. It orbited above him, and in his final chilling statement, he declared, "It is hovering, and it's not an aircraft." Shortly after, a metallic scraping noise was heard before the transmission abruptly ended. This vivid account, coupled with his sudden and unexplained disappearance, has given rise to the belief that Valentich encountered something otherworldly that fateful night. Something far beyond our current understanding. Could it have been a craft from another world? An extraterrestrial entity, perhaps, exploring our earthly realm just as we aspire to explore the cosmos? This theory is further bolstered by the fact that the Bass Strait, where Valentich disappeared, has been a hotbed of UFO sightings. Reports of strange lights and unexplained phenomena have been common in this region, both before and after Valentich's disappearance. This has led some to speculate that this area might be an active zone for extraterrestrial activity, a sort of intergalactic highway, if you will. Moreover, Valentich himself was known to have had a keen interest in UFOs and extraterrestrial life. He had previously reported seeing a UFO, and his father confirmed that Valentich believed in their existence. Could his curiosity have led him to a close encounter of the third kind, a face-to-face meeting with extraterrestrial life? However, it's important to note that this theory, like all others surrounding the Valentich disappearance, is not without its skeptics. Critics argue that the UFO encounter theory is rooted more in fantasy than fact, driven by our collective fascination with the unknown and the unexplored. They point out the lack of physical evidence and argue that Valentich's descriptions could have been the result of misinterpretation or even hallucination. Nevertheless, the UFO encounter theory continues to captivate. It taps into our innate curiosity about what lies beyond our planet. It challenges our understanding of the universe and our place within it, and it leaves us pondering one of the most profound questions: are we alone in the universe? And so we return to that fateful night over the Bass Strait, where a young pilot's distressing encounter and subsequent disappearance continue to perplex us. We replay Valentich's last transmission, his descriptions of the unidentified aircraft, his growing anxiety, the final unsettling noise. We ponder the unanswered questions, the myriad possibilities, the unproven theories. Could Valentich have come face to face with extraterrestrial life? We may never know for certain, but his story and the mysteries it has spawned continue to captivate us and fuel our fascination with the unknown. The skeptics, however, argue that the answer lies not in outer space but in Valentich's own psyche. To them, the notion of an otherworldly encounter is far too fantastical and lacks concrete evidence. Instead, they propose a more grounded theory, one that considers the human factors at play. This perspective suggests that Valentich, a young and relatively inexperienced pilot, may have fallen victim to disorientation while flying over the Bass Strait. Nighttime flights can be particularly disorientating, even for seasoned pilots. The vast, featureless expanse of the ocean, coupled with the lack of distinct landmarks, can easily create a sense of confusion and loss of direction. In such a state, Valentich could have mistaken his own aircraft's lights reflected on the water for an extraterrestrial craft. This theory posits that, overwhelmed by anxiety and confusion, he could have lost control of his aircraft and crashed into the sea. Another angle skeptics explore is the possibility that Valentich may have staged his own disappearance, perhaps as a form of suicide. This theory arises from the seemingly deliberate nature of his final transmission, which some interpret as a premeditated act. However, those who knew Valentich dispute this, asserting that he was a responsible pilot with a deep passion for aviation. They argue that he would not have risked his life carelessly, let alone orchestrate his own demise. Yet another theory suggests that Valentich, fascinated by UFOs, might have staged the entire event as a hoax. He could have planned to disappear temporarily, only to reappear later and regale the world with his story of a close encounter. But the plan could have gone awry, leading to an accidental crash. Again, this theory is disputed by those who knew him, who insist that he was sincere and hardworking, not one to engage in such an elaborate deception. Let's not forget that Valentich was a young pilot at the age of 20 with just about 150 hours of flight experience. His flight over the Bass Strait was intended as a training exercise, not a daring adventure. The skeptics argue that the combination of inexperience, possible disorientation, and perhaps even a touch of youthful recklessness could have led to a tragic accident. Yet, despite these arguments, there are those who steadfastly reject the skeptics' view. They point to Valentich's calm and composed demeanor during the initial part of his transmission as evidence of his competence and argue that he would have been able to handle any disorientation or mechanical failure. The skeptics' theories, while offering a more mundane explanation, raise as many questions as they answer. They challenge us to look beyond the sensational and consider the human elements in this mystery. But they also leave us pondering, unable to fully dismiss the eerie aspects of Valentich's last transmission. Could Valentich's disappearance be a tragic result of human error, or even a deliberate act? As we delve deeper into this enduring mystery, we find that the answers remain as elusive as ever. Some believe that Valentich stumbled upon something he wasn't supposed to see. Now, we delve into the realm of covert operations and hidden agendas as we explore the theory of a government cover-up. This theory hinges on the idea that Frederick Valentich unwittingly flew into the midst of a secret military exercise or stumbled upon classified technology. This is a narrative that's been whispered in hushed tones by conspiracy theorists and skeptics alike. Around the time of Valentich's disappearance, there were murmurs about increased military activity in the area. Unverified reports suggest unusual movements of military equipment and personnel. Could it be that Valentich's routine flight path had intersected with a covert operation? Imagine this: a young, relatively inexperienced pilot flying in the dead of night, suddenly encountering something utterly outside his frame of reference. Perhaps it was an advanced aircraft, a secret piece of military technology, that appeared as an unidentified object to the unsuspecting Valentich. His descriptions of a shiny metal surface, bright lights, and high-speed maneuvers could indeed fit the profile of a top-secret military aircraft. This theory further speculates that upon realizing that a civilian pilot had seen too much, the powers that be decided to silence Valentich. Was his mysterious disappearance a result of such drastic measures? Did his plane's metallic scraping sound, heard just before the transmission cut off, signify a violent end? It's important to note that this theory, like the others, lacks concrete evidence. The Australian government has repeatedly denied any involvement in Valentich's disappearance or any cover-up. They argue that there were no military exercises conducted in Bass Strait on that fateful night, but then again, would we expect them to admit to such a scenario? The government cover-up theory is compelling, but it's also the most controversial. It paints a picture of a world where governments are willing to go to extreme lengths to protect their secrets. It's a narrative that's been woven into countless other UFO sightings and unexplained phenomena. But as with any theory, it's crucial to consider its plausibility. Is it likely that a 20-year-old pilot accidentally stumbled upon a top-secret military operation? Could a government really orchestrate such a complete disappearance, leaving no trace behind? And if Valentich did encounter a secret military aircraft, why was he able to communicate its presence so openly? These questions, like many others surrounding Valentich's disappearance, remain unanswered. They add layers of intrigue to an already baffling case, stoking the flames of speculation and debate. As we delve deeper into the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories and government cover-ups, we are left to ponder the chilling possibility. Was Valentich a victim of a government conspiracy? As with all things related to this case, the truth remains shrouded in mystery. Until we find definitive evidence, the Valentich disappearance will continue to be a topic of fascination, a dark tale of the unknown. Another line of thought suggests that Valentich's fascination with UFOs led him to stage a sighting that went terribly wrong. This theory, while less popular, adds an intriguing twist to the narrative of Valentich's mysterious disappearance. Frederick Valentich was known to have a deep interest in unidentified flying objects. Some argue that this fascination could have driven him to stage an elaborate UFO sighting, using his own flight as the stage for his grand illusion. The idea is that Valentich might have planned to disappear temporarily, only to reappear later and recount a sensational story of a close encounter. But what if this grand plan went awry? What if in the process of staging his UFO sighting, he made a fatal error? A single-engine Cessna 182L, like the one Valentich was piloting, is a delicate machine. A minor miscalculation or distraction could easily lead to a catastrophic failure. This theory suggests that perhaps Valentich, engrossed in creating this illusion, lost control of his aircraft. Maybe he became disoriented, or perhaps a mechanical issue arose that he was unprepared to handle. In the panic and confusion, his aircraft could have spiraled into the unforgiving waters of the Bass Strait, leaving no trace behind. But why would Valentich go to such lengths? Those who support this theory point to the allure of the unknown, the thrill of the spectacle. Valentich, they argue, was not just a pilot, but a storyteller, eager to etch his name into the annals of UFO lore. This theory, like the others, is not without its critics. Some argue that it paints Valentich in an unkind light, as a reckless thrill-seeker rather than a serious pilot. Yet it remains one of the many possibilities that continue to swirl around this enduring mystery. Could Valentich's fascination with the unknown have led to his untimely end? Like the many other theories surrounding his disappearance, this question remains unanswered. A tantalizing piece of a puzzle that, more than 40 years later, refuses to be solved. Despite the numerous theories, the Valentich disappearance remains one of Australia's most intriguing aviation mysteries. An enduring enigma, it has kept us captivated for nearly half a century. Different theories have emerged over the years, each one attempting to explain what happened to Frederick Valentich on that fateful night. Yet, the case remains officially unsolved. The UFO encounter theory, the most popular among them, suggests that Valentich came face to face with something not of this world. His own descriptions of an unidentified aircraft, with bright lights and a shiny metal surface, have fueled this theory. The thought that he might have encountered an extraterrestrial craft leading to his disappearance continues to enthrall ufologists and enthusiasts alike. Then there's the skeptic's view, which suggests that Valentich, being an inexperienced pilot, might have become disoriented and lost control of his aircraft. There's also the conjecture that he might have staged his own disappearance, a theory that those who knew him vehemently dispute. This theory brings a human element to the mystery, a tragic reminder of our fallibility. The government cover-up theory, another intriguing proposition, posits that Valentich might have stumbled upon a secret military exercise or technology. Claims of increased military activity in the area around that time give some credence to this theory. It's a thought that stirs our inherent suspicion of authority and the secrets it might be keeping. A fourth theory, the hoax gone wrong, suggests that Valentich, fascinated with UFOs, might have staged a sighting but then accidentally crashed his plane. This theory paints a picture of a young man's fascination with the unknown leading to an unintended, tragic end. Despite these various theories, the Valentich disappearance remains a mystery. Each theory carries its own weight but also leaves unanswered questions. The lack of concrete evidence and the peculiar circumstances surrounding his last transmission keep this case open to speculation and debate. The Valentich disappearance has become a staple in UFO folklore. It continues to pique the interest of those drawn to aviation mysteries and paranormal phenomena. It's a tale that has been told and retold, each time with a different twist, each time with the same chilling effect. The mystery of Frederick Valentich's disappearance remains as alive today as it was on that October night in 1978. This enduring mystery serves as a stark reminder of the unknowns that lurk in the shadows of our world. It challenges our understanding of the universe and our place in it. It's a puzzle that has yet to be solved, a story that has yet to find its ending. Perhaps we will never know what truly happened to Frederick Valentich that fateful night. His story serves as a chilling reminder that there are mysteries in this world that remain beyond our understanding.